say yo so, make one for the radio. But it's flow about nothing, yeah, they said it though. King running through my blood, call me bionicle. Simon now for this kid, get astronomical. Not the typical individual. I meditate, but not nothing too spiritual. Mob ties, do that make me a killer too? Hell nah, I got the world through my rear view. Fuck with me, hell yeah, different frequency. Got a mind of hypothetical just to fuck with me. Mindset pathetic, yeah I said it. Started laughing when I read it, little critical, but nothing too difficult. Indigo child, new world order miracle. Off with the politics, shit that make me sick. I'ma get my bread up, I could be the president.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Petty Princess coming to y'all to remind y'all to tune into my man Oso's Talk to Me Real podcast every Monday and Wednesday at 11 p.m. You don't want to miss it. Come in, all the vibes is there. Safe place. Come in, say your piece, get whatever's off your chest on there. You already know the saying: King not your nigga, queen not your bitch.
Am I on? Yeah. Am I recording?
Hey, it's T. I just want you guys to tune in to King Not Your Nigga, Queen Not Your Bitch. Make sure you tune into the YouTube channel. And also focus, click the link in the bio. I'm going to be there. And make sure you just come in. You already know the platform. King Not Your Nigga, Queen Not Your Bitch.
Am I on? Am I on? Yeah. Am I recording? Hold on. Wait. Turn me up. Hold on. That's a little better. That's a little better. Hey.
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Y'all already know the platform. King not your nigga, queen not your bitch, and we are fucking lit. Y'all, we are back. You know, we got a new streaming time, 8 p.m. They be telling me, hey, King, I be want to rock with you. I be want to rock with you on the panel, but y'all just be too late for me. You know, we got jobs, we got 9 to 5s, we got kids, we got lives. So, 8 p.m. we here. Hold on, let's do it right. You ain't been gone that long. Namaste. Nama motherfucking stay. You know, it is go time. Ground your motherfucking energy. And y'all know I did not come along. I want to thank y'all because y'all could be anywhere else in the world. Instead, y'all are right here with me in the motherfucking mob tonight. You know how y'all doing? How y'all doing this? Like I said, I didn't come by myself. You know what I'm saying? I got some lovely ladies with me tonight. You know what I'm saying? How you ladies feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Happy to be here.
Wow. The new intro.
Yes.
Okay, see, we had to change time. So, like, we got to change up a little bit. You know, we got to change up a little bit. It is a pleasure to have y'all locked in with me tonight. You know, are y'all ready?
Yes.
I was born ready.
It's a pleasure, man. Like I said, I have a treat for y'all guys tonight. Y'all know I got a guest coming in tonight. So definitely sit back, relax. It's going to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a great one. Thank you, ladies. You know, then I got Pop with me tonight. You know, how you feeling, Pop?
What's going on, King? How you feeling, bro?
Man, it's go time. It is go time. It is go time. Are you ready for the night?
Yes, sir. Let's get it on, baby.
Man,
it's go time.
Tonight is fin to be very therapeutic, you know, so I hope you're ready. You know, I hope you're ready. Like I said, I want to thank y'all, you know, for coming in tonight. I got my brother with me. I see he here. He in the, you know, backstage. I see you backstage, Brody. Before I bring him out, you know what I'm saying? Before I bring him out, I want to give him a proper introduction. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a pleasure to have bro in the building with me tonight. You know what I'm saying? I want to give him the proper introduction. So let me go. Let's go.
Turn the headphones up. Hey,
I say we doing our own thing, writing our own plan, accepting no handouts, so we don't need your hand. Creating our own sound, building our own band, straight from my DNA. We rock with our own strand, moving our own music, straight from our own fan. Hitting the block, flooding the streets from our own dam, building our own team, establish our own clan, finding our own market and reaching our own fans, building our own schools, teaching our own kids, building our own house, establish our own crib. Fucking apartment, let's work till we own cribs and fill them with real love. Too good to be on cribs. Go where the youth is, build up a movement. This is a lifestyle, let's give them the blueprint. Give out some scholarships they can excel on. A little breathing room so they don't wait to exhale long. Cause if we don't do it, then nobody will. Or if we don't do it, then they probably will. But we should do it cause it's for ourselves. Greatness, and we gon' do it with great care, with great care, with great care. We take care of everything, yeah.
With great care. What's up with you, bro?
Peace, King. What it do? What it do? What it
Man,
do?
it's a pleasure to have you with us tonight, man. With great care, you know what I'm saying? That's gonna be my main topic tonight because even me, bro, you know, I'm learning to the day. Nothing, you know, no matter what you do, you know, it ain't great until it's done with great care. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not, it don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Until it's done with great care. So it's a pleasure to have you, man, locked in with us tonight. Like I said, I got a whole panel. You know what I'm saying? Got a whole There we
Good
go.
day, y'all.
Go. All right, how y'all feeling? How y'all feeling, beautiful melanated people?
Peace and love.
We good, bro.
All right, you know, so we are locked in tonight. You know, we gonna make this a little powwow. You know what I'm saying? Also a little Q&A as well. You know, because I have a couple of questions for you. You know, and I know that my family do as well. And I want to start with the great care with great care. That saying in itself. Tell me about that. You know, what inspired your movement with great care?
So what really inspired that movement was a talk that me and my homie seen back in the day on YouTube, where a guy was saying, in order for the world to change, it isn't going to be about people just striving to do great things. It's going to be about people learning to do everything they do with great care. So we added the purpose and intention to it, and we were looking for something to call my first professional EP, right? I've been doing music since I was 7, but we were looking for a title for my first professional EP. And originally we were going to put out one really big kind of mixtape, or, you know what I mean, just kind of underground record, maybe somewhere to 18 to 20 songs, and call that With Great Care, and allow the music to carry the conversation of what it looks like to, you know, walk in the world to do things with great care. And we decided not to do that. We actually decided to break it down into a trilogy. So we did 3 projects: With Great Care to Heart, With Great Care to Struggle, and With Great Care to Dream. And the whole, you know, premise of the joint is to be like, listen, as Black folks in America, we could all tell a story about some system we had to be subjected to that didn't move with care. We could all talk about a family member who didn't move with care. We could all talk about a love interest who didn't move with great care. We could talk about we could talk about our damn selves and something that we didn't necessarily do with great care, and how it would affected our trajectory or our growth, right? And so I'm just a firm believer, right, that we gonna elevate ourselves, if we're gonna elevate as a culture, as a people, then it's not gonna be about us walking out here trying to figure out what is the next biggest thing I can do. I think it starts with saying, what am I doing today, right now, and how can I do this particular thing, you know, with great care. And I think that's the spirit that builds greatness. You know what I mean?
There it is. I totally agree with that. You know, 100. I agree that 100%. I agree with that 100%. When it comes to, you know, what you do, you know, and what you stand for in a whole, you know, how do Okay, we know that, you know, you've been through some shit. You know what I'm saying? We know that you've been through some shit. We know that everybody done been, like you said, everybody done been through their shit. But how did you overcome them trials and tribulations? Because for an example, the typical Black man these days would say, oh, I can't do it. You know, the white man this, or I can't do this because it's always an excuse. You know, so how did you get to that point in your life where you say, look, man, fuck my circumstances, or fuck, you know, what I'm left with, I'm going to do this. You know, what got you there?
You know, me and the homies talk about this all the time. You know, me and my brothers, my family members, we talk about this all the time. I don't know, to be honest, right? I think if I try to give you some kind of formula of why I've been able to persevere, then I'd be lying, right? I just give thanks first and foremost. Like, I'm a believer, bro. Like, I'm a believer in the Most High, so I'm gonna give thanks and praise to the Most High for everything, and say that it must have been part of my genetic code from my father or my ancestors. My grandmother, man, she died at 86, but she worked in a sock factory until she was 84. You know what I mean? Like, I'm one generation removed from sharecropping. My mother and my father, they both picked tobacco in North Carolina. You know what I mean? Like, so all we know is hard work. And we grew up struggling. Like, we grew up struggling. I got laughed at in college one time because I was running for Mr. Winston-Salem State University, where I went to college. And I talked about eating a mayonnaise sandwich. And everybody laughed, like, mayonnaise sandwich? You ate a mayonnaise sandwich? And I thought that was common. I thought that was a regular thing, because for us, my father and my mother got paid every Friday. And from Friday to about Tuesday, you had regular food. But then when the regular food ran out and they didn't have any more money in their check, because they really lived in paycheck to paycheck, between, like, you know, Wednesday and Friday until they came home with groceries, you might have had some light bread. And if you had light bread, you might have had something to put between that light bread. You might have been eating syrup sandwiches. You know what I mean? So when you come from that, it is not struggle that gives you fear, because you know how to struggle. You know what I'm saying? So it's most people in that situation are then afraid of success because they don't know what that looks like. And for me, you know, I had really big, really, really strong, powerful, smart brothers and cousins who laid a framework for me that I could believe in. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have an opportunity to doubt myself, because I had people ahead of me who never doubted themselves. And I'm talking about from street hustlers to people who went to college, to my cousin Ann, who's my cousin, one of my oldest cousins. She's now she's now a vice president for one of the top insurance firms in the country, and never went to college. She just got out here and got it.
Yes, exactly.
When it comes to your music, you know, I'm definitely gonna give everybody a chance, you know, to ask y'all questions. But bro, last time I saw you was down there on 8th and it was showtime, you know, so I couldn't even really chop it up with you. So I'm gonna chop it up tonight. You know, I'm gonna chop it up tonight. When it comes to your music, bro, how did you begin to preach, you know what I'm saying, like, through your music? Because it comes to a point where it's like you want to spit some real shit, right? Because I do music, you know, but it's like I don't want to rap out that shit. You know, I don't want to rap out the shit that these youngest want to hear, you know, but the way that you fit your shit, bro, you know, it's like the youngest can listen to it, you know, the older folks can listen to it. I want to know, you know, how did you find that balance, you know what I'm saying, with your music to be able to, you know, reach the community? Before you even do that, you know, for some people on here don't know you and don't know your music, you know what I'm saying? So
you spin. So dope shit. I been spitting dope shit. They say you feel like I'm talking to them when they see me out and they quote shit. I got that light and I show them what life is really like when they live it true. I got the pill to show them the real, so they don't believe it, they see on news. Cause I got the juice, I got the juice, but I got the juice and you got the juice and you got the juice. Shit, everybody got the juice. We determine what to do. We been manifesting plans, we been running with the crew, getting dirty with our hands and helping everybody win. Cause that's how we everybody ain't with it, and everybody can't get it. Some niggas dead, they sleep in the bed, they live in their head, they need to admit it, they living their life every day, afraid of breaking their limits. You do this shit every day, my nigga, we ain't never timid, nah. Hit the team full scrimmage, put the squeeze on the limit. I got lemonade hands, I got lemonade plans, built the lemonade stand, hit the block and made it grand. Damn, hey, cause that was the move from jump. The turn limits in the lemonade, keep your left hand on the pump.
And that was the move from jump. turn lemons into lemonade, keep it left. Man, how did you? Come on, talk to me, bro. Talk to me, bro.
That shit was
Talk
tight.
to me. How you
That
do?
shit was tight.
How you do that shit? Talk to me.
What's the question?
Like the way that you articulate, you know, your message, you know what I'm saying, and still, you know, make it listenable, you know, if that makes sense. Because there's a lot of people that want to preach, if that makes any sense, and want to stay on a positive note. But it's like, you know, you get to rapping that positive shit, I'm gonna turn it off. I mean, if you don't know how to deliver it, you know, to the point that make me want to keep listening, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't care how positive it is. You know, but you have a positive message, man. It's to the point that you like, damn, what's the next song? Bro, I told you, man, I actually built my business off that motherfucker working and winning out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you actually can inspire a motherfucker through your music. You know, I need to know what inspired that. Like, was it a master plan? Was you a Malcolm X nigga at first, tried to preach to motherfuckers and they weren't listening? You said, let me try with my music. Like, how did that come upon?
I'm gonna point out three things. The first thing, man, is that when I came out of college, I was supposed to I went to college for marketing, and my goal was to learn the tenets of marketing, and then to be able to go work for a label, and then eventually start my own label. But of course, man, when you in school, they push you down this linear pathway. So they was trying to push me into corporate, and once I got a chance to look at what corporate looked like, I couldn't do it. Right, I'm sitting in my marketing class one day. My marketing professor is like, marketing is finding out what people want and then giving them more of it. And so I asked him a question. I was like, what if your people have been traditionally told that they want drugs, sex, violence, etc.? He was like, unfortunately, if that's what they're willing to pay for, that's what you got to give them. And it was at that moment that I was like, I get it. Now I know why I'm here. I'm here to learn the tenets of this shit so that I can get my people what they need. Marketing isn't just about finding out what's in the market and then selling it. That's basic level marketing. Real marketing is about human psychology. It's about using words, visuals, like shit that people look at TV. It's about using words, visuals, and intentionally curated experience to reshape their beliefs, right? Even if you think about a place like, you know, Burger King, you don't say Burger King sell burgers, right? If I say, you know, even if I do this, right? Da-da-dun-dun-dun, finish that.
I'm loving it.
Right. You know what I mean? We all know that, right? So we say, oh, McDonald's sells, you know, burgers, or State Farm sells insurance, or Subway sells subs. No, they don't. None of them do. They sell beliefs, right? McDonald's wants you to say, I'm loving it. And most of us going to be on here. We're going to say, now, we don't love McDonald's. But McDonald's didn't say love McDonald's. They said, I'm loving it. What is it that you love? Oh, you love a McFlurry. Oh, you love them fries. Maybe you love the apple pie, right? There's something there that you love. And so what I realized in marketing was that marketing was really about using visuals, language, and intentionally curated experiences to change people's beliefs, whether for the good or for the detriment of who they are, right? The second thing is just like I grew up in, I'm not from DC originally. I've been here 12 years now, and I'm not leaving. So I'm part of the culture now, but I grew up in North Carolina, and you know, I was at home for Thanksgiving, and one of my homeboys called me Jay Black, and this girl who don't know me, she's like, "Who is Jay Black? Her name is Yusha. Who is Jay Black?" I was like, "You don't want to know that nigga.
You don't want to know him.
You don't want to know that nigga." And I say that, you know, you say king, not a nigga, but no, you know, we didn't grow up with great care, bro. Like nothing we did was with great care. Like we didn't grow up with a framework of love. We didn't grow up with a framework of like how to build and uplift your people. You know, even to a certain, like our whole community was based off negativity. So even if like shit, if you scored a touchdown, nigga, and came home was like, I scored a touchdown, somebody in your family would be like, nigga, stop bitching, you still suck.
Still something. Still
what you want, a cookie?
Still champ.
Right. So there was no framework for love. You know what I mean? So I come from that too. And then the truth is that my father was a preacher. My father was a tough dude. He became a preacher later in his life. Before he was a preacher, he was like a bootlegger and the alcoholic to some extent. You know what I mean? Crazy. Everybody thought my father was crazy. He was a wild dude. But then he became a preacher by the time I was born. So I was born to a dude who had learned to sit down and read scripture in a very real way, because he wasn't like a goody two shoe. He was a real nigga who eventually learned how to like understand scripture in the context of God. So I was raised by him. I was born to him and cultivated and taught by my father. But my role models was the big homies in the neighborhood. That's who I was with. And they was hustling. So I got a song that says I was born to a preacher, but raised by a hustler. So I know how to reach people and turn them into customers. But what I give people feels like royalty. So what I get back is called long-term loyalty.
Loyalty.
That's a real conversation between the dichotomy of how I was raised with scripture and with get your money.
There it is. There it
So
is, man.
when I put it in the music, I call it the good mother theory. I taught at Hart Middle School here in DC. I was teaching mathematics. Imagine teaching mathematics in middle school, right? You talking about kids who ain't scared to fight nobody. They'll put up hands to fight everybody, but will run like a motherfucker from a math test.
Right. I had my own program there for a while as well at Hart Middle School. So trust me, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right. So I had to walk in every day and get kids, get students, get young people to absorb something that they had built a real fear for, right? And that fear was around being embarrassed that they couldn't do the work. And so my brother gave me the realest thing, and that's kind of where the music comes from. He said one of the tenets of marketing is this statement. He says, I come to give you what you want so that you'll want what I come to give you. I had to learn to identify very quickly what are the things that my students wanted. And I had to learn how to put the math in those things so that it didn't look like math. It looked like what they wanted. So it's the same way with the music. I had to figure like, what do people want? And then how do I tie it in?
It is. There it is. You know, last question, and you ladies, and Pop, I'm gonna let you go in. I came across something on your ID, bro, and I want to express more on what you meant by this.
The way I see Black women really helping the process, though, is that Black women are making therapy popular. Black women is going to be the key to healing our community because y'all are going and you're normalizing it. And then because you're going, you're responding to men differently. And because you are healing, men are getting an opportunity to get reactions from you that allow us to feel like we can trust you with our thoughts.
Talk to me. Did you hear that properly?
Yeah. It took me, I had to clock in, but yeah. So let's take it back to the neighborhood again, right? Growing up, love was called tough love. And in a framework of tough love, especially from my mothers, depending on who your mother was, but from my mothers, from my aunties, from my big sisters, from the girls in our neighborhood, if you did something wrong, right? If you made a mistake, if you made a human error, they talk period code shit to you, right? Like real shit, like would demean your whole manhood, like would really go at you, would hate you, would turn against you. You know what I mean? And in their mind, they're doing this to make you accountable. All right. So there's this thing about like accountability. Like, yeah, you need to be accountable for your mistake. You need to be accountable for hurting me. You need to be accountable for whatever you did that victimized me. Now, couple that with the idea that we did grow up in. I grew up in a community where I did see a lot of dysfunction. Right. I saw women being abused. Right. My sisters were abused by their husbands and by their boyfriends. Like I saw that growing up. I'm the baby, so I saw all of the stuff that happened above me. But now, right now, you get to 2021 and 2021, but I think it's been happening over the course of the last few years, where this dysfunction has started to be addressed in a healthy way. And I say healthy way because we couldn't go to therapy when, back in the day. That wasn't a thing, right? If you went to a therapist, you had some screws loose. It don't matter what you went for. You had some screws loose, elevator didn't go to the top floor, none of that. But this conversation about healing has been taking place. And I think the first of us to go and start to deal with their own traumas and their own triggers and their own struggles was the women. They going to therapy, and now they on Instagram therapy, and you hear the word so much that it's now more normal.
Yeah, it's
Now,
normalized.
what's happening is these sisters are going to therapy and they coming back from therapy, and a brother may do something to trigger them, offend them, or hurt them. And instead of going off and demeaning this brother, these sisters are offering grace. And the brothers are like, what is grace shit? What is
Yeah,
this?
when you
Right?
said-
It's almost all putting. And the sisters are responding, you good. I talked to my therapist.
There it is.
Mm-hmm. And so then the brother is looking at that like, yo, I might need some of that therapy myself.
I need
And so I give credit to the sisters for going and taking being brave and going and then normalizing it and then bringing love and grace back into the communication and the relationship, which has allowed the brothers to be like, yo, I see power in this. Because now this woman, this black woman can show up for me in ways in which she didn't show up for me before, which it then allows me to healthily, like in a very healthy way, take accountability for my actions and then understand that I can go somewhere and talk this out without necessarily being emotionally responsive, in my relationships and in my connections.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Ladies, Pops, man, feel free to jump in. I'm gonna give y'all some time to go ahead and, ask some questions.
Man, listen, bro. I'm loving what you saying, man. You young. I'm the oldest one on this platform. I don't want to say how old I am. Of course, you can see the gray on my bed.
Oh, God ain't make dirt but one time, bro.
I know that's right, bro. But I want to give you your props, man, because to hear a young black man to be able to speak with wisdom and with power, it's amazing, bro. It's amazing. It's something that we as men, no matter what age you are, we need. And when brothers can get together and speak with that much power and authority, you're gonna get the attention of a lot of men, bro. Young and old. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. So keep up the good work, bro. That's all I want to say for right now.
And blessings. All praise to the Most High, bro. We received that. And I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So, I have been doing my research, and
If you don't know Alicia, like she just
Scorpio.
yes,
Yeah.
like a small introduction. When I tell her about a person before she even meets you, before she sit with you, she like, what's his birthday? Let me pull a card. Like, yeah, so she probably so go ahead.
Yes, I'm a student of cardology, astrology. So I like to look up the cards and see the relationships with people in advance. But I was doing my research and looking over your Instagram. I was very intrigued with the 3 Ps. So I would like to ask you, when do you feel the most peaceful?
I feel the most peaceful in the morning, right after my what I call my form. I'm calling my form now. But after I follow a certain formula. So my formula is wake up, work out, believe, or do my prayer, my meditation, believe, do the work of that day, do one thing extra and go to sleep. But that morning period where I work out and then do my morning devotion, I'm most peaceful right after that, right? I done something for my body. I did something for my spirit. I do something called 19 things that I'm thankful for. And I just really every day I write down 19 reasons to be grateful. And I feel most peaceful right after that because it almost feels like I have an assurance that the things that I need to do today are going to fall in place.
Beautiful. When do you feel the most powerful?
Probably the same time because it's almost like a transition from peace to power.
Okay.
Because once I find my peace, I can feel my power. And from there, it just feels like everything is a thought and a word away.
So from there, it goes to purposeful as well.
That's the work. While I'm doing the work all day, everything I do feels purposeful because, right after I do that work, I sit down and I do a to-do list. And I get quiet and I sit in my own spirit for a second and I write down the things I need to do of that day that comes to me, you know what I mean? And doing that work makes me feel purposeful. I'm not a person who works for money at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I'll never take a job that they paying. Y'all know how people be like, I'm looking for a job. They be like, who hiring? Nah, that ain't me. I don't care who hiring. If it ain't the work that I do, you good. You know, much luck to y'all. So all my work feels purposeful.
Nice. Okay. So, what inspired you growing up, like to be the man that you are today? I know that we talked about hardships, but what, like, in your cousins and your brothers, but what really like inspired you to be the, I guess, like the soul searching man that you are, looking to heal through love and looking to spread that in your music, amongst others?
This is a really good time for me to just give kudos to who laced my boots. So my brother, Dorano, he was a wild youngin. He was a very wild youngin. As a young man, he had to go in a certain time, and when he came home, he was just a completely different dude. His mindset and his energy was different, and I saw him come out of prison. I saw him come out of lockup, go to college at A&T in Greensboro, get his barber's license, save up enough money to buy a big rig, drove truck for a few years, saved up enough money to move to another city and buy him a barbershop, and now he owns his barbershop, and I'm like I watched him do that. And the whole time he was doing it, he would have conversations with me about the depth of religion. He's a very deep person himself, so the depth of like religion, like who God is. One of the realest things he ever said to me one time was like, I was like, yo, bro, you know, how do you overcome difficulty? And he's like, well, he said, I just remind myself that if God is everything and God is in everything, then he said, I might not be God, but I'm God. He was like, God is in me. So he was like, imagine an obstacle in front of you. And then he was like, you know, tell yourself that you're God. What type of obstacle is that now, right? If you're God, then what is the obstacle? And that's how he thinks, right? And so he clear not to blaspheme or you know, be like, no, I'm God, the supreme being, but understanding that we all have God-like powers. So I give credit to him. I give credit to my father. Being a Baptist minister, growing up in the North Carolina church, it was very like, nah, don't question God. We were taught that growing up. Don't question God. That's a lack of faith. My father was the first man to look me in my eyes and be like, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Like, if you don't question God, you can't get no answers.
Exactly.
But when he said that in church, they looked at him like he was crazy, right? So he wasn't he was fearless in that way. He was like, nah, question God about everything. My cousin Daniel is he used to live in DC. He moved back to Virginia, Southern Virginia, but he always talked to me about politics and people and how to love people. He was the first person to really talk in my family to really talk about what it looks like to like give understanding to other cultures of people, even cultures who may seem like our oppressors. He would talk about how to understand their plight, and that gave me a perspective that that exists above race. It gave me a perspective to like look at people's humanity and understand, like, even though you might be the oppressor or the oppressor in a situation, what you might be dealing with. So that allowed me to grow in love in that way. And then my boy Kariga, who actually is my age, but he's out and he's from Sacramento, California. His family had a framework that I hadn't seen before, really because of his mother and his grandmother. They Jamaican, but I ain't never seen love operate in a family like that. So, you know, when I met in 2009, me and Kariga used to teach at Maya Angelou Public Charter School together. When I met them in 2009, they just had a framework for giving and sharing and love that I hadn't seen. Even to the point, like, me and his brother used to share a bank account where, like, I shared a bank account with my homeboy where he hit me, be like, yo, I'm down. And I send it right over and never ask for it back. But if I hit him like, yo, I'm down, he send it right over and never ask for it back. It used to be money just sitting in the account sometimes. And we'd be like, yo, just let it be there. And that type of sharing allowed me to like trust people. Because in my neighborhood, we didn't trust nobody. I don't trust nobody. But these relationships, especially my relationship with him, it allowed me to be like, yo, you can trust somebody.
So you begin like shedding the old you and really embracing a new way of living.
I put Jay Black in the closet, cuz you should have saw I was born.
You in the closet.
Cause Jay Black still be in there. He come out from time to time.
Boom.
My lower level consciousness.
Yeah.
Still got a little bit of that in us. Most definitely. Most definitely.
We do.
I have one more question. So with Heal Me, it's a very powerful song. I was listening to a lot of your music. Once King told me that you were going to be on the show, I was like, okay, let me do my research, as I said before. But Heal Me, I shared with my brothers because I've been trying to get them to journal and just get their emotions out, because I feel like it's very important to express yourself, especially as a Black man, because I don't feel like Black men express themselves enough. Can you just explain or really, I guess, focus on the importance of journaling and just being in tune with your emotions as a Black man in society?
Yeah, I'm a very big proponent of men operating in their intelligence, not operating in their emotions. I would not advise anybody to start to allow themselves to believe that they could, especially a man, especially a Black man in America. Please, brother, do not allow yourself to believe that you can have emotional responses out here. You cannot. You cannot afford to have emotional responses. Everybody's afraid of you. What I do advocate for is brothers having enough emotional intelligence to understand when they're angry, when they're frustrated, when they're challenged with the difficulty, and understanding the power of vulnerability enough to know that you don't have to just keep that in, because that's why you end up having emotional responses. And so being able to have a place where you can express how you feel gives you, one, the opportunity to release that energy. Because what I've also learned that scientifically, even though we may, like, I'm sure we've all experienced death in our life, somebody in our family dying. And I don't know if y'all have experienced this, but I have. That moment when you need to cry, but you don't cry, and you tuck it, but that tuck gets stuck right here in your throat.
Yeah.
Right. My question: what is that tuck though? What is that ball? Because the tears were coming from the eyes, like baby swap. Right, it's energy. It's energy and it's tension. And when we don't let that out, it gets stored in our body somewhere. So, the ultimate thing is like, I'm watching men, even men who don't, die of violence, but who live longer. I'm watching them get up out of here 15, 20 years before women. And I'm like, what is that about? Oh, it's because they didn't have a safe place to say that I feel. So they tucked it. And they tucked it in their liver, they tucked it in their kidneys, they tucked it in their stomachs, they tucked it in their colon, and then they show up and we call it cancer. A lot of that's just difficulty in their energy. Or, they tucked it and then they hit it. So they hit it with their cigarettes, or they hit it with their liquor, or they hit it with, sex or gambling, or outrage. So I'm a big proponent of saying, like, I'm not about to sit in here and be like, brother, it's okay to, like, nah, bro, don't have no emotional reactions out here, bro. White cops don't know how to handle your emotions. Most of the time, a lot of sisters don't know how to handle Black men's emotions, because as soon as a man allows himself to be emotional, she gets scared. She don't know what to do. You got to have a special type of sister to handle when a brother allows himself to be loud and fully expressive because he's angry. But what I say is, brother, like, talk about that though. Like, be able to look at your people and be like, listen, it's a powerful thing for a brother to feel some type of way and to look at his I'm gonna make it his lady. Look at his lady or look at his partner and be like, I'm gonna be honest, I ain't like that. And just as simple as that, I ain't like that. Let's talk about it. And give him that space. Brothers a lot of times won't even do that. They'll just be like, I don't even want to hear that, Mo. Like,
Don't even know how.
Exactly. They want to brush it off.
Yeah.
But they haven't been given space to, because when we was growing up, if you had a difficulty as a boy and you mentioned it,
You better
yeah,
stop
stop
crying.
bitching, nigga.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
Yep.
you better not cry.
Something to cry about.
Yeah, you better not cry. Yeah, right.
That was the worst. Whoop me and then tell me to stop crying. Are you gonna give me something to cry about? You already
Yeah.
did. What you mean?
Right.
No bullshit.
What
Yo,
was
I didn't
that? 'Cause
understand
that's what I'm crying about. Like,
Right.
My mother
So-
used to whoop us with switches, boy, and then be like, "Stop crying if I give you something to cry about." And I'd be looking like confused, like that wasn't something to cry about. Like,
exactly.
I'm
I
not
do
supposed to
agree
cry.
though. A lot of us, especially with men, we grow up fucked up. That and that alone. We are raised to say, men, you ain't supposed to cry. You cry, you a bitch. So we don't know how to express ourselves emotionally. So a lot of us men don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, but
Don't
we're
even know where
also
to begin.
taught it's tough love. Like we're taught you got to give this idea of tough love when a lot of times it's really just emotional abuse. Like you can't always make somebody stop crying if that's the feeling that they're feeling. Like you have to let that child, express that. And unfortunately, our young men are told that that's how you be a man. You don't cry. You hold your emotions in, and then just like the brother said, it show up as some sort of disease within your body because you still holding on to that negative energy that you didn't let go
Most definitely need a balance, man. We need a balance. It's all
Hey,
about.
I cry all the time. I cry now. I cry more now than I've ever cried in my life. But I typically never cry because of pain. Like my tears always hit me when I think about where I could be and where I am, and I'd be like my tears really come from like I'll be on some like, damn God, like that's how you gonna show up?
of. Right.
Like that's what you about to do? Because
So how do you?
I've been as close to death as a person could be close to death, and literally got the instructions of how to live at that place. So I'm saying,
So how do you
oh, that'll
release your?
bring you to.
You do feel it, and does working out help you get that out, or meditation? Like how do you release that?
I was having this conversation with a sister the other day, man. I was just like, yo, for real, emotions are manifested thoughts. So a lot of times,
They're not even real.
here's the thing: I've been as close to death as a person can be close to death, and at that place, God taught me how to live. And when He told me how to live, He took the scriptures that my parents gave me and made them real. Right? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. As a man thinketh, so shall he be. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. If you had the faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. These were just conversations when I was a kid. Nah, this is real now. I literally know how to change the structure of my cellular makeup based off how I think and speak.
Yes.
I know how to heal myself.
Exactly.
People think I'm crazy, but somebody got coronavirus. I know somebody who got coronavirus, and he's like, "Man, I'm down." And I said, "Yo, just tell your body to heal. It'll listen."
Exactly.
So they
Reprogram
thought I
yourself.
was playing, but I was like, "Nah."
Let's go.
Yes.
So
Way
I
more
don't really.
than we give ourselves
Pain
credit
don't
for.
sit on me too long. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead, man.
No, no, no. I was just saying, it we as black people, like we way more powerful than we give ourselves credit for, and we take for granted the things that our ancestors did to heal. We don't go and reach back to that ancestral medicine that they use. And even though, yes, they did use a lot of herbs and things like that, a lot of it was frequency, or some call it religion, some call it, a higher power, whatever you deem that, like that is what can heal you, the power of the mind, like, and the tongue, like it's all within you to heal yourself and heal everyone around you as well.
Yes.
There it is.
Yeah,
There it is. Man,
exactly.
I'm loving it. Anything else? Anything else before I move on, you guys?
I have a question about your music. um do you want to pursue like a mainstream record label deal type of thing, and if not, why, and if so, why?
Uh, I mean, I'm open to it. right? So my answer is both yes and no. And the reason why I say no is because it ain't happened yet, and I can't sit around not becoming who I need to become because it ain't happened. So if it happens, cool. And if it does, right, a lot of people are gonna say, "Well, why would you take the deal, man? They doing 360 deals." But I mean, I understand money, right? They can't sell records no more. The label can't sell records. All the labels are banks. They're banks for the music industry. So just like if you buy a house, you don't really own your house until you put all the equity in, until you really pay it off. The bank owns it until you do. So it's the same thing with the label. That like the label is saying, listen, we're gonna give you upfront money for a 3-song label deal. You don't own none of this until
It actually stopped.
you pay it off, you pay it back. And I know that enough to know how to navigate that. One thing you can't beat about the labels is their reach and their machine. So would I take a deal with a label in order to get access to the machine and the reach to then maybe 2 or 3, 4 years down the road, pull back and become independent again, but to be able to maintain a solid fan base of 20 to 30,000? Yeah. Because right now the push I'm on is to get 10,000 solid people who are willing to spend $100 with me per year between a show, a piece of merchandise, and a collectible item. That's $1 million in revenue off music. If I had that, I'd be satisfied. So to be able to get a label and go to 1 million plus fans, and then maybe 3 or 4 years drop back to independent and be able to maintain a core fan base of 50,000 to 100,000 people. Hell yeah. And anybody else telling you that they wouldn't do it, they're just asking for difficulty. They just being difficult, because they want to be. And a lot of the artists who are saying, yo, you need to be independent, they either started with a lot of drug money, or they were on labels first. And when they fell back to be independent, they still had fan bases that could support. If you're trying to build your joint from the ground up, whew,
because even if you look at somebody like Currency, look at Currency, I always think of him as a great example when it comes to this music thing, because he started out on the Cash Money, No Limit. He was with No Limit. I don't think he was signed necessarily, but he ran with them. He did the big label thing, but his true core fan base came once he left that. He garnered, some fans from with a Cash Ad and all of that. Okay, now people know his name. So now when he went and did his own thing, he's created his own lane. I don't know nobody that sells merch like him and make as many collections and EPs as he does. He's just amazing. But it just shows you, if you know how to work that mainstream shit, and then you go and do your own thing, you can create a lane for yourself. And now he's giving his son residual income. His son not even 5 yet, and he's executive producer on his projects, but that's residual income that he's already making, really truly building generational wealth. That's so smart.
Yo, love it. Before we close up tonight, I want to get closing remarks, from everybody. But when not, so hang tight with me for a minute. For me, you should. But I need everybody who are, with me tonight to take this time to share, subscribe to the platform, because like I said, we trying to get some sponsors. We trying to get some sponsors.
What up, DC?
Body feeling different, getting older, nigga.
I'm Usual Side, and this my DJ P9.
The world is changing.
My drummer,
that
Grace.
must mean that you're amazing.
Let's get it.
You ain't picked the weather or the forecast.
The forecast.
You be shining no matter the forecast. Still hella chill while the sun is blazing.
Let's go.
That must mean that you're amazing.
I come from the bottom, but I say fuck the top. I'ma raise up the bottom till it becomes the top. I'ma elevate people, I'ma do it with truth. Even the people at the top know that we got the juice. I know we ain't perfect, but we do perfect shit. Even hip-hop was perfect to birth the nation with. Perfectly birthed from a generation that raised the fist. I am the rose from the concrete that the 80s ditched. I seen the bodies from civil rights to hatred hit. Still sitting in school systems that can't be fixed. I was placed in the school system to raise the kids. Realized it was a box and had to raise the lid. They say you should while you rap if you want to teach. If you want to inspire people, won't you go and preach? Sheesh, said I do, but by my own rules. Just play my CD in your house and call it homeschool.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Love it, bro. Like I say, love it. I want to say again, bro, I met you through a coworker when I was working in the school. I think it was your goddaughter. You know, your energy definitely speak, because I said but 2 words to her and she said, "You remind me of my godfather." You know, and she sent me your album. She was like, "You." That's when that Working and Winning dropped, and she said, "You, bro." And I swear, from that day on, I listened to nothing but Working and Winning. That inspired me to start my business, bro. I actually quit like a year later, you know, and went hard, you know. So I need you to keep that going, bro. It's not too much of that going out here, you know. Even if you don't get a record deal, keep dropping that shit. Keep dropping that shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because it's definitely touching the people that it needs to touch. You know, I'm telling you, it's coming straight from a black man. All right, so closing remarks. Say it again, God.
I say when you're walking in your path, the money always comes. So
I'm telling you, it is. Yeah. All right, so closing remarks. I want to come out of fact, start with you, God.
I'm just, dang, I don't really know what to say. Shop the Natural Queens movements. Follow Raw Talk. We go live on Thursdays. And I do want to say again that it's awesome to see a Black man speaking on mental health. So shout out to you, Yusha, and for your movement, everything you're doing. We need to have more brothers like you speaking out in our community.
Yes. Most definitely. All right, closing remarks. Claps.
Man, I just want to say I appreciate just being on the platform, man, and listening to y'all young adults speak with wisdom, man, and intelligence and with power, man. Keep up the good work, man. Keep it going, man, because y'all got something. Y'all got something that I'm gonna say that this world needs to hear. It doesn't matter whether you're black, white, Chinese. Doesn't matter about your ethnic or who, you know, your color of your skin. Y'all powerful, bro. Y'all powerful. This platform is something powerful, and I'm gonna do what I can to help it grow even more powerful. But keep up the good work, man. I love what I heard. I'm loving everything, man.
Most definitely. I appreciate it, Clap. Closing remarks.
Oh, I love it. I just thank Yusha and I thank you, King, for inviting me to be a part of this experience. I think healing is something that we need to speak about more in the Black community. And I feel like this is paving the way. So I thank you for this opportunity.
Yes. Thank you for that. Closing remarks, bro. Let me get the closing remarks.
What's your name, brother, in the studio?
My name is Eric, bro.
What is it?
Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. There's something about the way you sat quietly and absorbed and affirmed our wisdom and affirmed our power, which tells me who you are. So I'm gonna look forward to tapping in with you, you know, if possible. You know, I think all communication comes from within. So you can only communicate something based off who you are. And in order to see something, you got to know what you're looking at, right? In order for you to break that down for us. So that speaks actually to your wisdom. You giving us wisdom or declaring our wisdom speaks to yours. And so I'm interested in really in tapping in with you. Who is the sister with the necklace? What's her name?
Me?
Nay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nay. I'm definitely I'm paying attention, right? I'm observing too. I'm listening intently to how you were able to understand the connection between religion, science, spirituality, and all of the words. Because we grew up in societies that continuously separated. They separated creator. They separated God, right? They made everything something different. It's like, no, only this can be God. This over here is science. This over here is food. Like, And I saw the way you was like, nah, whatever you call it, it's all. And that level of
Yes.
that level of wisdom allows you to walk in a certain type of power because you stop separating that divine energy and you start living in it. The other sister now,
Alicia.
Alicia. Let's talk about these cards. We're gonna have to talk about these cards,
Yes,
Alicia.
Alicia.
We're gonna have to talk about these cards. I want to know about that.
Yeah,
I want to know.
I studied astrology. My teacher, Malik Deshawn, he's on Instagram. Renaissance Man 8000, just put his information out there. But I definitely looked your cards up, which kind of gave me honestly an insight into how to focus my questions that I asked you. You are the Eight of Hearts and the Three of Spades. The Eight of Hearts is a soul searcher. You search for your wisdom within. You are creative, and with your love, your energy, you represent the awakening of or passion in one's heart. And then the Three of Spades is the artist card, one of the most creative cards in the deck, and you lead with, well, you have to make sure that you are responsible with your thoughts, which is I picked up on with your meditation, and also when you said emotional intelligence, you have to be responsible with your thoughts and feelings when it relates to work and health matters. So everything that you are doing, you pretty much embody your cards. You are a self-demonstration, as my teacher would say, of your cards. So it's very beautiful to watch the cards come together and watch the way that you perform and use your words. It's very inspirational. Yes.
Yeah, I want to be honest, right, and say that we grew up in a time, especially in the South, where I'm originally from, where people were scared of that type of knowledge. They were scared of that type of science. But I don't believe that anything that exists on this planet wasn't created by God and with some, or creator, or whatever word we want to use, and with purpose. And I believe that all of the science helps us to understand more and more about the true intentionality of the creator of this place. That there is no mistakes, no such thing as a coincidence, right? I believe that things coincide, but not in coincidences. It's all mathematics, and it's it's a finite situation. I believe in that.
So the thing about this is it's the 52 deck of playing cards. So it's something that's been in front of our faces for years, as playing spades. But they always say if you don't want someone to understand or grasp something, put it in front of their face and turn it into a game. So we've had these cards in front of our face. We just never knew what the real meaning behind it was. So us tapping into this science allows us to tap into our true potential and maximize it to our greatest potential and become the people that God, source, creator, the divine expected us, intended for us to be. So it allows me to tap into my purpose. So yeah.
This is a very interesting panel. This could be definitely a place for people to discover. It at least catches, right, if not completely discover, but catch a seed of something that would allow them to start to go in a different direction. So I'm proud of y'all for having this. I think it's super dope. To the homie now, also focused. King, thank you, bro. Peace, King. I appreciate you for bringing me on. I appreciate you for believing and being a supporter. There's no underestimation to how it feels to be on stage and to see somebody listening and absorbing what you do, but spitting the bars word for word.
Oh man.
Right. That's a different type of feeling. Because that means that what you put out landed. You know what I mean? And that's really, I think, what we all want to do. We just want to create from our heart, from our soul, and we want to see it land. So thank you. And shout out to Janice, my student from Hartman School, to turn into my godchild, because she would not exist in a world where she didn't love me. So I appreciate her.
Most definitely. I most definitely appreciate her as well. Most definitely. Yeah, man, this was very therapeutic, bro. And I'm definitely going to link y'all, connections, so y'all can definitely stay in touch. that's the whole point of this platform, y'all, to create a space where we can be ourselves, y'all, and just come together and speak. So I'm glad, job done for the night.
Yes.
Job
Yeah.
Well done.
Yo, real quick,
Well,
because I'm because she's a light in the world and I know who she is, and I'm about to start giving energy to her direction. Shout out to my daughter, Gianna G Stacks, for bearing with me as I did work tonight, and then eventually got on this live. She is sitting gracefully and
Yeah,
patiently.
much love.
Much love, baby girl.
So we thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
she
you.
tired though. She tired.
She's like, let's go. It is time to go. I thank y'all, man. I love y'all. Y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but instead, y'all were right here with me and the mob, and I love it. Until next time, we out.
Yeah.
Some friends will never get it.
My nigga, my nigga. My nigga, my nigga. My nigga.
What's up, Holmes?
Let me tell you, nigga. Man, I had to run down on these niggas. Man, they took all my money. I had to run down, come back later, ran down on them niggas. You feel me? You hear me, nigga? Do you feel me? Do you hear me, nigga?
Fool. Told your ass I don't like that fucking word. And you keep using it. The fuck? Could you please try not to use that shit around me? Shit.
Damn. My bad, nigga.
Nobody can tell me not to be great, bro. No one can define my greatness. No one can provide any incentive big enough for me to work, at some higher level. I've already defined that for myself. My brother told me something a long time ago. He was like, when we were growing up, people would tell us to do good or do this or do that, do the right thing, or you're going to get in trouble. And they always made doing it about the consequence of what happens if you don't. But what happens if you do? What happens if you show up and you give your best, you put your heart into something, and you do it at your highest level of excellence? What does that feel like? And once I knew what that felt like, to create, to build, and to do things at a high level, yeah, I didn't need no incentives. At the end of the day, it's all about walking in excellence and doing things with such purpose and such intention that your spirit is fulfilled. That's a bigger feeling than any incentive you can offer. We'll take the incentive too, but that ain't why we do it. With great care.